Hello and welcome back to English for grade 11. Today we're going to start with a new unit. We start with Unit 5. It talks about writing. So in this episode we will pay attention and focus on the vocabulary items, the set book questions, and the main idea. Now let's start with the vocabulary items and let's take a look at them. We have the list here in front of us, and these are the vocabularies for our lesson. We have acquire, amateur, ameliorated, call in, fall off, gradually, honorary PhD, impact, precious, pride and joy, quotidian, throughout, try out, wordsmith, and writer's block. Now I'm going to show you a picture, and now you try to guess the meaning of this picture and which word is represented of that meaning. So we have the first picture here. It's a business skills. So you have a skills, you have to learn them, or you have to know how to use a certain tool or something. So you learn something, or in other words, you acquire. It's a verb, acquire. It means to learn or develop a skill, a habit, or quality of something. For example, she was keen to acquire more advanced culinary skills. She was keen to acquire more advanced culinary skills. So acquire means to learn something. That's the meaning of acquire. Now let's go to the second picture. So we have a picture of a horse, but you can see the difference between the beginning and the tail of the horse. So when we start, we are not professional enough, and then at the end, we learn how to do that thing professionally. So in the beginning, what we call it, not professional, it's amateur. It's a noun. It means a person who engages in a pursuit, especially a sport, on an unpaid basis. So he's an amateur of something, he's not professional. For example, the competition is open to both amateur and professional photographers. So we have photographers who are pursuing photography as a career, or they can do it as an amateurs without being paid. Next, we have this picture here. What do you think it represents? What do you think this picture represents? It's to make something better, or to try to make it better, enhance it, in other words. So it is ameliorated. It's an adjective. It means of something bad or unsatisfactory to make better. So you try to make it better, to enhance it or ameliorate it. For example, using this ameliorated model helps deliver better outcomes. So using this ameliorated model helps deliver better outcomes. Now let's go on to the following picture. What do you think this picture represents? What's the meaning behind this picture? So, yes, it's a call-in, of course. You have a phone right in front of you. It's a noun. It means a telephone conversation that is broadcast during a radio or television program. For example, he hosted a call-in radio show. So basically the hosts accept and want people to call the show during show hours. The person who is calling the host is a call-in interview. So it's a phone call conversation in a radio or a television show. Next, we have an arrow, but it goes down. It's not moving forward. It's not being better. It's a fall off. It's a noun. It means a decrease in something. A fall off means a decrease of something. For example, there began to be a great fall off in attendance. Okay, so a lot of people are skipping or not attending the classes or attending the meeting or so on. So there's a fall off. That means the number of people who used to join is getting lower. It's decreasing. Now let's see this picture. So it's a success. You walk one step at a time to reach the end. It's a gradually. So you have to move slowly toward the end. It's an adverb. It means slowly. For example, the new book is gradually taking shape. So I'm writing a new book and gradually, slowly taking shape for its final outcome. It's not done yet, but it is gradually taking shape. All right. Now let's move along with the next picture. We have an old man with the graduation hat. He's graduating from something, but he didn't go to school. So he is graduating but didn't go to school. that what we call an honorary PhD. It's a noun. It means a doctorate given as an honor, without the usual requirements or functions. So he didn't go to school, he didn't study anything, but in an honor of his achievements or in an honor of that person, they give them an honorary PhD. For example, she received an honorary PhD from Oxford University in recognition of her work for the homeless. So that person was doing a lot of great job helping the homeless, and Oxford University gave her an honorary PhD in recognition of her work. So she didn't actually go to Oxford, but Oxford gave her that degree. Next, we have this picture here. What do you think is happening here? So what happens when the ball hits the other balls? It's an impact, a noun. It means that the action of one object coming forcibly into contact with another. The action of one object coming forcibly into contact with another. For example, we need to assess the impact on climate change. So we need to know the influence on climate change. So we have to know the influence, okay? That the impact of that thing. Next, we have a picture here represent something very valuable. So we have diamonds and we have jewelry and maybe some expensive materials. So they are very precious, correct? It's an adjective. It means of an object, substance, or resource of great value, not to be wasted or treated carelessly. So you have to take care of that thing. You have to value it because it is expensive and it is very precious. For example, we cannot afford to waste precious time. So precious doesn't mean also only object, but also sometimes time. Time is very precious and we have to use it correctly. Next, we have this picture here. What do you think? So it's something gives a feeling, a sense of happiness, let's say. What do you think? It's a pride and joy. It's an expression. It means the main source of satisfaction and happiness. It's an expression that means the main source of satisfaction and happiness. For example, their son is their pride and joy. It's an expression that means it's a source of happiness, of course. Let's go to the next one. We have daily, another word for daily. We have daily news, 24 hours, 24/7. So, it's quotidian. It's an adjective. It means of or occurring every day, or in other words, daily. That television has become part of our quotidian existence. For example, television has become part of our quotidian existence. We use it every day. It's a daily basis thing. Next, we have only 4 more words to go through, and we have writer's block, throughout, wordsmith, and tryout. So, we have an arrow that leads in 3 different directions. So what do you think? So I'm going to give you a moment to see the picture and what it means. So you have to choose a path to go through. So it's a throughout, it's a preposition. So all the way through. It means all the way through. For example, it made his name well known throughout America, across America. He is a noun, throughout, or mean across America. Everywhere in America, they know his name. So throughout is a proposition and means all the way through. Next one, and we have 3 words left, and we have tryout, writer's block, and wordsmith. So we have a player here, football player, and trying to make it to the team. So he needs to go to the tryout. Correct, it's a noun. It means a test of the potential of someone or something, especially in the context of entertainment or sports. They want to give it a try. They want to see his potential. Is he capable enough to join the team or not? Is he willing enough to compete against others? For example, next Monday tryout for soccer team is going to officially start. Next Monday tryout for soccer team is going to officially start. So we have the tryout will start on Monday, and we will see who will make it to our team or join the team. We have 2 more words, and we have a writer's block or a wordsmith. a writer's block or a wordsmith. So, and we have a picture of words here. So it can be ambiguous here. What do you think? Is it a writer's block or a wordsmith? Let's see. It's a wordsmith. It's a noun. It means a skilled user of words. So someone who knows how to use words, they call him or her a wordsmith because they are talented in using words. For example, I've been a wordsmith since my hand could hold a pen. I've been a wordsmith since my hand could hold a pen. So I'm capable and I am very skilled of using words in general. Okay? Now the last word, of course, it's a writer's block and it's a noun, and it means the condition of being unable to think of what to write. So sometimes writers go through this block and they need to think outside the box. For example, after his second novel, he had a writer's block. So he wrote 2 novels but couldn't write any more stories or any more novels because he had that block. He couldn't think of more ideas to write them down. So that happens in some situations with writers, of course. Now, we've talked about and tackled some of the vocabulary items for this lesson, and let's put them in use. Now, from those words previously mentioned, let's give or try to answer the multiple choice questions, choosing the right answer from A, B, C, or D. So let's go with the first question. Number 1, the tennis tournament is open to both blank and professionals. So professionals are joining the tournament, but also unprofessionals can join as well. So is it a wordsmith, or B, an honorary PhD, C, amateur, or D, tryout? What do you think? Plain and simple. The answer is C, it's an amateur. So both amateur and professionals can join in the tournament. Next one, we have question number 2. The blank for the driving license will be next Sunday. So we have an appointment and we have to give it a try, okay? So is it a writer's block, tryout, impact, or fall off? What do you think? So we have to pass an exam, the actual driving license exam, to have our license, right? So it is a tryout. The tryout for the driving license will be next Sunday. Now we have another type of exercises. We have the gap filling. We want to fill in the blanks with the suitable words, and we have those words in between brackets. We have acquire, throughout, quotidian, colon, precious, and writer's block. So these are the words that we want to use them in the blank below. So question number 1. We have now a blank from Jabir on the line. So he's on the line with us, okay? So we have him on the line with us. So we have a what? What do you think? I'm about to say it, but I want you to say it. Yes, that's it. We have a call-in from Jabir on the line. So Jabir is now calling the radio or the TV show to talk with them. Next one, we have question number 2. You need to blank some skills before you graduate. So you have to learn and you have to develop certain skills before you graduate, because they can be very useful. So words that means learning or developing. What do you think? Is it acquire, throughout, quotidian, precious, or writer's block? Of course, yes, it is acquire. You need to acquire some skills before you graduate. Correct. Good job. Now, we are talking about writing. And when we think about writing as a skill itself, it is very important in our day-to-day life. But try to imagine writing thousands of years ago. People in the past used to draw pictures on the wall to present or convey meaning. So they have some different languages like the hieroglyphics and the cuneiforms. They were drawing something on the wall to convey meaning. Then they were trying to paint or try to scribe those words in rocks instead. And they were trying to develop a sense of communication with others. Later on, they discovered and they developed the pens, the fountain pens, that you need actual ink to use. And then they were developing the pen into a more built-in ink in the pen itself, and this is how we have our pens now. And we have also another types of sources and materials like pencils. We use different materials to write down information. And now, this time and age, we type information and share them online. And we use computers, cell phones, and technology to help us deliver our information and pass it on to a large number of people simultaneously at the same time. We don't need to write them down and let people come to us to see the drawings or to see our writings. We can share it globally, internationally, instantly. So you don't really need to make an effort. But try to imagine being or living 3,000 years ago, and you have to write or draw something on the wall, and the person who wants to read your information has to go to that certain location and try to find your information that you just wrote. And it was so tiring and exhausting, of course. And now it developed to a sense of accessibility to thousands and millions of people around the world with a single touch of a button, of course. And it is very important to communicate with others with that style of writing, of course. Depends. And of course, we have different languages now, and we can translate from one language to another. Of course, the hieroglyphics is a language by itself, and we have experts who can read and translate from that language, and they try to understand the meaning. They don't really understand fully, but they try as hard as they can. Now, let's go through the set book questions and see the importance of writing. Why do you think people invented writing? So why people invented writing? Why is it important? So what do you think? All right, so we have an answer here right with us, right in front of us. We have people invented writing to share knowledge and information and pass it on with others. So we want to pass on the information to the next generation or so. So this is the importance, or this is why people invented writing. Next question. The Arabic form of writing is different from the Roman alphabet. Can you explain? So we have Arabic numerals and Roman numerals. We have Arabic alphabets and Roman alphabets. So we have the Roman alphabets goes A, B, C, and D. This is not the way we write in Arabic, right? So what are the differences between them? Are they different? How so? So Arabic has 28 characters and is written from right to left. Meanwhile, the Roman has 26 characters and is written from left to right. So this is a brief difference between these two languages. So to conclude, in this episode, we talked about and looked at the new vocabulary. We also looked at the unit content as a whole and discussed some set book questions. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.